When you're diving into the intense battles of Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive, every fight feels like a test of skill, timing, and pure instinct. And let's be honest, when the game keeps throwing dangerous bosses and chaotic dungeons at you, the last thing you want is to walk in with a weak squad. With the console and PC versions giving us a full roster of hunters to choose from, the question becomes pretty simple. Who's actually worth bringing into the fight, and who's just taking up space? Well, that's where this video comes in. Today, we're breaking down the top characters in Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive so you don't have to waste time experimenting with every single hunter. We've got 20 characters competing for a spot on your team, and each brings their own strengths, weaknesses, and playstyle. So if you're trying to build a squad that hits hard, survives longer, and clears content faster, stick around, because this tier list will help you figure out exactly who deserves your precious slots. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking characters in Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. Bye. The characters in this tier are in order from top left to bottom right: Lee Joo-hee, Min Byung-gu, Seo Ji-woo, and Yoo Jin-ho. You know that feeling when you open your roster and immediately think, yeah, maybe tomorrow you'll shine? Welcome to the world of our C-tier hunters in Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive, the group that tries their best, but sometimes their best is, well, not enough. Let's start with Lee Joo-hee, our Aqua-type support who truly means well. She wants to heal you, she wants to help the team, but in a game where support hunters can practically bring you back from the edge of death with one ability, her healing feels more like someone lightly tapping a band-aid on your problems. Add her low base statistics and her very underwhelming damage per second, and you are definitely better off giving that support slot to someone a bit more capable. Next up is Min Byung-gu, who brings light-type support energy to the squad. He is actually a pretty solid character conceptually, but his damage per second output is so tiny, you might need a magnifying glass to see it. On his own, he struggles to keep up, and unless you invest a truckload of upgrades, he fades out by endgame. Think of him as that one friend who is always enthusiastic but needs everyone else to carry the group project. Moving over to the tanks, Seo Ji-woo joins the party as an Aqua-type defender. If you are looking for damage, she is absolutely not your girl. Her damage output is easily one of the lowest among all tank hunters. But if you appreciate someone who can throw out decent shields, then hey, she might still earn a polite golf clap. And finally, there is Yoo Jin-ho, the light-type tank who is basically the definition of, you gotta build around me. With the right team composition, he can tank surprisingly well, but when it comes to pure damage, he needs several skill upgrades before he stops feeling like he is tickling enemies instead of fighting them. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Emma Laurent, Han Song-yi, Kang Tae-shik, Kim Chul, Park Hee-jin, and Song Chi-yul. If the C-tier squad is the group project team that needs extra encouragement, then the B-tier hunters are the co-workers who actually show up and get things done, but maybe not enough to earn Employee of the Month. Solid? Yes. Mind-blowing? Not exactly. Let's break down who is holding the middle line in Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive. Starting with Emma Laurent, our fire-type tank who becomes a powerhouse as long as you keep piling buffs on her like layers of winter clothing. Protect her just a little, and she'll pay you back with impressive team-wide buffs and surprisingly strong damage output for a tank. She is basically that friend who performs amazingly as long as the entire group is hyping them up non-stop. Next up is Han Song-yi, the Aqua-type assassin who really wants to be a star but needs a strong supporting cast. On her own, other Aqua hunters overshadow her pretty quickly, but her burst damage is fantastic, and she can inflict the poison effect, which slowly drains enemy health like an annoying reminder notification that never goes away. Put her with the right team, and she'll absolutely earn her place. Speaking of close-up action, we have Kang Tae-shik, the dark-type assassin who thrives in early-game content. He may require a little babysitting in close-range fights, but he is excellent at causing and exploiting the bleed effect. Pair him with hunters who can stack more bleed damage, and suddenly he becomes that guy who looks average at first, but then casually pulls off something insane. Moving into tank territory again, Kim Chul brings light-type defense to the roster. His individual damage per second is nothing special, but with the right team, he shines through team-wide buffs and powerful shield break abilities. He is the definition of team player. If this were a sports team, he would not be scoring goals, but but he would be assisting like crazy. And finally, for our mages, we have Park Hee-jin, the wind-type spellcaster who sprints into battle with her high-damage attacks ready to go. This makes her great for early battle nukes, but her cooldowns can feel painfully long in extended fights. If the stage has lots of enemies, or takes longer than expected, you might catch yourself staring at her cooldown timers like, any day now. Last but not least, Song Chi-yul, our fire-type mage who excels at dealing more damage to enemies with low health. The catch? His mana pool is noticeably smaller than other mages, so you may feel like you are constantly budgeting mana like you are playing Financial Simulator instead of an action game. Still, if you manage his mana well, his fire-based area of effect attacks are absolutely worth the effort. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Alicia Blanche, Cha Hae-in, Lee Bora, Lim Tae-gyu, and Nam Chae-young. If B-tier hunters are the reliable co-workers, then A-tier hunters are the ones who walk into the office and instantly make everyone else look like they're still on their lunch break. These hunters are powerful, flexible, and just a few steps away from absolute domination. So let's talk about the squad that sits comfortably right below the top of the throne. First up is Alicia Blanche, the Aqua-type mage with the highest water element attack in the entire game. Yes, the highest. She is basically a walking tsunami in human form. The only catch? Her hit points are a bit on the fragile side, so positioning her correctly is crucial. Treat her like expensive glassware, display her power proudly, but do not drop her. If you handle her carefully, she'll unleash damage that makes the risk absolutely worth it. Next is Cha Hae-in, our light-type fighter who has one rule in life: stack critical hit damage or go home. She thrives on big crits, and once you learn to play around her strengths, she becomes a monster at shutting down enemy healing. Tough late-game enemies trying to regenerate? Not on her watch. She is the perfect blend of elegance, and I am about to ruin this boss's entire career. For players who love flexibility, Lee Bora is your girl. She is a dark-type mage who can fill both damage per second and support roles depending on your needs. You will want to invest in both sides of her kit, but once you do, she fits into almost any team composition like she was made for it. She is basically the Swiss Army knife of Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive. Except instead of a bottle opener and mini scissors, she has dark magic and a talent for teamwork. Then we have Lim Tae-gyu, the dark-type archer who believes that every enemy deserves to experience the not-so-safe zone. His ranged attacks cover huge portions of the battlefield, and yes, he actually has nuclear-level abilities. If your aim is good, and if you enjoy making enemies panic from across the map, Lim Tae-gyu is easily one of the best picks for your team. Finally, Nam Chae-young enters the stage as the Aqua-type archer who serves as a more beginner-friendly alternative to Alicia Blanche. If positioning a fragile mage stresses you out, Nam Chae-young offers solid ranged water damage without the anxiety. She is easier to recruit, easier to play, and safer to manage, making her an excellent choice for new players or anyone who wants strong aqua damage without babysitting their hunter's life bar. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Amamiya Mirei, Baek Yoon-ho, Choi Jung-in, Esil Radiru, and Woo Jin-chul. You know you've reached the god tier part of the roster when every character you look at makes you whisper, yeah, this is unfair, in a good way. The S-tier hunters in Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive are the characters that do not just carry your team. They pick your entire account up, throw it over their shoulder, and sprint to victory like it is nothing. Starting strong with Amamiya Mirei, the wind-type assassin who somehow manages to deliver insane burst damage and tank hits thanks to her powerful armor. She is basically a blender with a shield. She slices, she dices, and she does not break while doing it. When she jumps into a fight, enemies simply evaporate before they even understand what happened. Next, let's talk about Baek Yoon-ho, the light-type fighter built for players who enjoy a heavier, more aggressive playstyle. Give him room, and he unleashes damage that feels like you dropped a truck on your enemies. And the best part? He can actually survive taking a truck-level hit back. If you like brawling up close and personal, Baek Yoon-ho is about to become your new best friend. Moving into fiery territory, Choi Jung-in stands proud as the fire-type mage with the highest base attack of any hunter in the game. Yes, literally the highest. He melts enemies over time with the burn effect, and his area of effect magic clears groups like he is sweeping dust off a desk. If you want damage, he brings damage. If you want style, he brings that too. He is pure destruction wrapped in a fancy coat. Now, if range supremacy is your thing, Esil Radiru is your first stop. This fire-type archer fills the break meter faster than almost any other ranged attacker, and possibly faster than anyone, period. She is practically mandatory for fire-focused team compositions because her debuffs amplify your whole squad's damage output. If your team was a band, she'd be the lead guitarist shredding so hard the crowd faints. Finally, we have Wu Jinchul, the wind-type fighter who refuses to let your team take unnecessary damage. With strong shielding and short cooldown times, he keeps everyone safe while still providing excellent break abilities. Pair him with almost any wind-type hunter and watch the synergy explode. He is the reliable, unshakable backbone of many top-tier team setups. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.